By the next day, the group sneakily pursue the Phantomora ship in Ruby Kingdom in an attempt to approach Obsidian more easily the next time they arrive. Now, this specifically, of course, happens after the group, the 5 of them, including Louise, escaped Obsidian. For after they had been into her hut, Louise had suggested, okay, by next day, that we'll be planning to retrieve the ship that me and my father had been on from beforehand, but was, of course, taken in Ruby Kingdom. And Ruby Kingdom now holds the ship hostage, is basically what it is. Now, it is really undetermined as to what had happened to her father. It could be a mere certain that her father is arrested and held in prison. If, of course, given that we might find that information from Major Flashdance, who had been a prisoner in Ruby Kingdom from before, as what I mentioned in episode 1. The group, they specifically climb one of the 4 chains that holds the Phantomora ship into its dock positions, in which they are being held and restricted amongst the docks of Ruby. The group climbs the northern chains as the soldiers shoot crossbow arrows that are 2d12 of damage each. One of the characters, being Felipe Darkstar, severely wounded during this time, during the arrows flying across the ship's edge. The soldiers, some of them on the ship being pushed off of the edge, falling to their death. Our main characters managed to break the 4 chains and releasing the ship from its hold of the dock's entryway. However, during the session, once they manage to retrieve the ship, a soldier that remains on the ship attempts to aim his crossbow at Felipe as a threat to force the group to return the ship back to the dock, or else Felipe will be killed here and now, as he aims the crossbow in Felipe's direction. Major Flashdance saves Felipe by throwing his little bag of sand at the guard's face, like a snowball. As it puffs, the guard ultimately just flips his leg upward, and bam, off the edge he goes and falls to his death. The Phantomora ship is flying, by the way, so you get the picture. So Phantomora ship, as it flies away, the group sleeps until that of tonight. Now, that was not, of course, until the session ends, that during the night, specifically the members Louise, Zenareth, Geneva, and Felipe, not Major Flashdance, for he still remains asleep, but the other 4, they witness a mind flayer being transformed and mutated into a vampiric mind flayer form, as specifically from the book Ravenloft, the manual. For the mind flayer's tentacles, they stretch, spikes protrude from the end of them. His limbs, elbows, they become more mangled and twisted from his bone structure as his skeletal form twists and turns as he becomes a more mangled abomination of a creature. So that's basically where the session ends until, at that moment, those 4 people, they begin to fight.